Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we have some pretty interesting and big news to talk about coming out of the LEC, I guess, or just out of the European League of Legends scene in general. This is obviously surrounding Kcorp and their potential move into the LEC. This has been a thing for quite some time. I mean, really, a lot of Kcorp fans and the Kcorp organization, everything has been hoping that the team could find a way in the LEC pretty much this whole year, whether it was through LEC expansion or buying one of these slots or whatever. And we know that they've talked to, or at least we're considering the Misfit slot. We know that they've obviously been very, very interested in the Astralis slot, and this has just kind of been an ongoing thing of hearing how close they are, what Astralis thinks of their offers. Is Astralis considering it? Does Kcorp need to come up more? Does Kcorp need to give up equity in their organization? Like what do they need to do to get this whole thing done? And then it was really crazy because we hear rumors of like Kcorp looking at Hansama and Kcorp looking to get rid of Reckless and starting to make some of these moves. And it starts to seem like Kcorp was maybe gaining some ground. I mean, hey, if they're looking at LEC players, obviously Hansama isn't going to the ERLs. Then, hey, maybe they're actually gaining some ground here. Maybe they're just doing their due diligence. Maybe they're just preparing for the best case scenario or whatever. But a lot of people were expecting news way sooner than this. Like we've said before, the 2023 season is getting closer and closer every single day. It's right around the corner. And if you are going to be an LEC team in 2023, you need to know that sooner rather than later. You need to start getting the infrastructure in place. You need to start getting the players. You need to start preparing for the next season. I really expected this would happen like late September, early October at the very latest. And today is October 25th, and we still haven't heard anything. But we have gotten some big updates today or recently. I don't know exactly when this video is going to be coming out, but apparently Esport Maniacos had been talking about this today. There was all different kinds of stuff they were talking about, and I'll definitely cover some of the other stuff as well. But some of the bigger things were getting tweeted out by a lot of the Kcorp community, the KC Ultras, all that stuff. These are really good people that try to stay up to date on all the latest information. We have Edo Stark here, and he tweeted out, on Esport Maniacos, they just said it's plus Astralis on the slot than KC now. Obviously, this is translated from French, so it doesn't totally line up or make sense in English, but we'll dive into exactly what it's saying. So it goes with what I heard from other sources. We can forget the LEC. And again, obviously, if the whole sentence doesn't totally make sense, it starts to make sense at the end when he says, hey, from what Esport Maniacos is saying, or what they're kind of at least taking away from what they're saying. I don't know exactly what they're saying because it's like Esport Maniacos in Spanish and then this is in French and it's like translated and then translated again. So it's this whole crazy thing. But pretty much they're saying, hey, Kcorp doesn't sound like they're getting to the LEC. And this thread kind of continued on. This guy's like, he says, go ahead, I'm a bit stupid, but it's plus Astralis on the slot than KC now. I don't understand that sentence, how it's turned. And then Edo Stark does clarify here. He says, it's more likely Astralis than KC now. He says, my bad for the comment or whatever, Madur, whole thing, which is just hilarious. Getting into the French Twitter has been so interesting and so funny for me, seeing the French community. But yeah, it doesn't sound good. It's more likely Astralis than KC now, which is, something we've kind of heard for a while. But then we have Casey May, where he even goes a step further and he replies to this Edo Stark tweet. He quotes it and he says, after cross-checking several pieces of information from several sources, no deal would have been recorded today. So, hey, maybe they talked today. Maybe they're in some negotiations. Maybe they had some conversations. And from that, it says no deal would have been recorded today, and the chances of finding one on time are slim. So at this point, again, one person saying, hey, you can kiss the LEC goodbye for Kcorp. Another person saying, hey, the chances of finding a deal that gets Kcorp in the LEC are very, very slim at this point. So overall, things are not looking great. And obviously, this throws a big wrench in the situation because we have heard that one of the biggest dominoes of this whole offseason is Hansama. And potentially Hansama has been waiting for a resolution in this whole Kcorp series because it sounded like Kcorp was maybe his number one potential landing spot or the place he most wanted to go, or at least one of the highest places he wanted to go. And hey, if they're not going to make it in the LEC, then Hansama is going to need to find a new home or another team to go to. And so many teams have Hansama really really high up on their list that they're hoping to get him, and they're not moving on to their plan B, C, D, E, F, whatever until Hans Sama has actually made a decision. But obviously this could make his decision a heck of a lot easier because he's not, at least I assume he's not going to Astralis, and if K-Corp isn't in the LEC team, then he's not going there. So this could have a really, really big impact on the offseason. But like some other people have said in reply to this can have a big impact on the offseason in a lot of other ways as well, because K-Corp has some interesting assets. Yes, this is one place that Hans Sama will not end up going, so he's going to be thrown into this whole mix, but also K-Corp has Cabochard. Is he going to want to spend another year in the ERLs? Is he going to try and make a move into the LEC? We know that he had offers from some LEC teams last offseason, so I assume, he's still probably going to have that. He had overall a pretty good year in the ERLs. They won an EU Masters title. He was one of the better top laners in all the ERLs, which is still a relatively weak position in Europe just in general. But we know that Cabochard wanted to go to K-Corp previously, but hey, does he still want to stay there? Does he want to wait another year? He's not getting any younger. His career, maybe he has higher goals and aspirations, or maybe he just loves playing for K-Corp. I'm sure they pay decent salaries. The fan base support and everything has been insane. He was able to win an EU Master title, and obviously he knows they will be in the LEC at some point. But then you also have the guys like Saken. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to stay another year in the ERLs? Does he need to make a move to the LEC? Is he going to have any LEC offers? And then, of course, Reckless. The rumors were that, hey, if K-Corp makes it the LEC, they don't necessarily want Reckless, so they're going to look to go in another direction. But now it works the other way as well, where if K-Corp doesn't get into the LEC, Reckless has been vocal in the past, at least, about not wanting to play in the ERLs again. He said, hey, this is what I'm doing for this year. I hope to make it back to the LEC with K-Corp, but also I need to go back to the LEC. My goal is to win titles, win worlds, compete internationally, all this stuff. And obviously he can't do that if he's stuck in the ERL. So this also does still mean that K-Corp and Reckless will likely be splitting up, and he will likely have a new home in 2023, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, for K-Corp fans, some mixed opinions, but I think overall a lot of K-Corp fans see this as kind of good news. Obviously, they would love to see their team in the LEC, and that could be good in a lot of ways, but I know a lot of K-Corp fans have been hesitant about, hey, let's not overpay for this thing. Let's not do anything stupid that's going to hurt the future of our organization. And also, a lot of people haven't thought that giving up equity or a percentage of K-Corp has made a lot of sense for Astralis. Yes, the LEC is big, exciting, it's this shiny new toy and all that stuff, but K-Corp knows they're going to get in the future. At some point, K-Corp's going to want to be, or they're going to be in the LEC because they're too valuable to the LEC. They have a huge fan base. They have all this stuff. If the LEC ever expands or new slots open up or whatever, they're always going to be considered. So they don't need to do crazy stuff right now. They don't need to make short-term decisions that could potentially impact their future. And I think, a lot of the KC fans, even though there are some crazy ones and some wild ones and all that stuff, they are a, overall pretty intelligent bunch. It seems like they understand a lot of this stuff. They trust Kometo and all the guys at the helm of K-Corp, and they know that, hey, even if we're still in another year, the ERLs or whatever, that's fine. We're still going to, root hard for the team, cheer the guys on, support the org. We're going to hopefully win a couple more EU Masters titles, and then maybe the next year will be our case. Again, people would love to be in the LEC. That would be ideal. That's what you want. It sucks, especially when like Koi's getting into the LEC and all this stuff, and you want to have the rivalry, and they're kind of one-upping you and doing this whole thing now, getting the rogue roster and all that. But K-Corp is obviously playing the long game, and if you want to be around, 5, 10, 20, whatever years from now, you got to think long-term. You got to make the good long-term decisions for everything. But I do think overall it is kind of a disappointment just as an LEC fan or League of Legends esports fan in general. Obviously, I would much rather have K-Corp in the LEC than Astralis or SK or some of these lower tier teams that don't really do a whole lot. So I think in that way, it kind of sucks. We have to watch another year of Astralis games and them probably not being that great of a team and probably not even putting in that great of an effort to be a good team. But yeah, from what we're hearing so far, things are not necessarily going good for K-Corp, which shouldn't really come as a shock because, again, it is October 25th that I'm recording this video, and the fact that we still haven't gotten any news, you still haven't heard anything, and as of today, K-Corp's still not in the LEC. That's definitely not a good sign, but we're hearing some reports of, people kind of confirming just that. But pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Peace.